All right, there you saw the unboxing. I want to thank Lowe's, first of all, for sponsoring this content. There's a lot of asterisks that go along with a lot of what we're going to talk about here, so we're going to save all that to the end, but I want to get into it because this was kind of a big change for us because we had the combination washer dryer, the front load one, and if you've been around the channel, you know I'm kind of iffy on front load washer and dryers these days, and then I usually vote for the top load, but you know what? Everything, if you think about it, everything's a tool, and every tool is right for different jobs. And for us, this was the right tool for this job. But first, let me show you about setup, how quick and easy it is. Then we're gonna hand over to the missus because she's the queen of laundry around my house. I may wear a lot of it, but I'm not the person washing it. So I'll let her walk you through it. And then we'll talk about why this was right for us, why it might and probably is wrong for you. And well, you know, before we get too far into it, let's just jump into it, all right? So this is the back of the machine. And as I said, the setup on this is super easy. There's 4 bolts and that's it. And now their instructions tell you they want you to go at it with a pair of pliers here. These bolts are pretty long. So it didn't take long for my son to be like, forget this. I'm gonna get me get out the socket set and go to work with this. But the reality is, you don't need to extract them all the way, which is what he did on the first one. And then all you have to do is you have to hook it up to water. We got hot water, we got cold water. They're basically garden hose ends. So as you can see there, we put a splitter because we're gonna have, as I think I mentioned, the dishwasher hooked up there. So we split it off so we can have 2 hot, 2 cold. And you want to get the connection kit, get fresh hoses for that if you have an old one in place. You always want to go with fresh hoses. There's Miss Bella supervising, and you can tell because we also have a second black lab. That's the reason why the pet hair mode on this was so important to us. Now remember, you want to use the torque adjustment, the German standard torque adjustment, good and tight. And we put Eleanor to work. Don't worry, everyone's judging you.
Stop.
Is she doing it right, people? Let me know down below in the comments. Oh, she loves it when I do that. Anyway, you know, as I said, the setup's good. Let's talk about using it.
I like to change the temperature of my water depending on what I am washing. And I have to change the lint filter because this is everything it caught from the previous load. It's pretty easy to take out. Just gonna set it to the side, take little bits off of here. I think it's every 10 washes, you have to take the filter out of the center and do that one as well. The other thing that's awesome is that when I start this, the part where you forget to take it from washing machine to dryer is eliminated. Oh, it's so dusty. I do like that as it goes through the different sections, you can see how far along in the process it is. Like I can tell that it's filling right now. And I can also hear the water. That is Bear trying to help me with laundry and play with the chew toy. It's pretty quiet, other than the sound of the water filling into the drum. This is it partway through the cycle. It's letting us know that it is completed the washing cycle and now the drying is going on. So the dryer just finished. We're going to take out a shirt and take a look at it. It's nice and warm. There are no wrinkles. And one of the things that I love about this is that it really helps me eliminate the problem where I put stuff into the washing machine and then I get a phone call or I get distracted and then I forget to put it in the dryer. So this goes from wash to dry really easily. The other thing that I love about this is that as long as I remember or look at my notifications letting me know that it has finished, I don't have any issues with the wrinkles. I have a couple times like had something happen where I had to leave, and it was really easy to just go ahead and have it cycle a little bit, pull it out, and the wrinkles are gone. The other thing I do have to be aware of, because I myself am really bad about overloading the washing machine, I do notice that it's much faster and easier if I do smaller loads. So maybe I'll do more loads during the day than I used to with my traditional separate washer and dryer. But I think it is a bigger benefit that I don't forget that it's in the washing machine and then forget to change it. So I do really try to be aware of the size of the loads that I'm putting in there so that it can wash and dry as soon as possible.
All right, there you saw the setup, which was a breeze. You got just, was it 4 bolts, some screws to take out, and then you hook it up to hot water, cold water, and a drain. That's it, nothing else, all right? Make sure it's level, all right, there's that. And you're ready to start washing your clothes, okay? And then the use of it. Well, here's the deal. This is, for some people, this is kind of weird, all right? It's a washer-dryer combo all in one, and it works like a heat pump. Basically, once it's done washing, it spins it to dry it and gets all the moisture out it can, and then it heats everything up. And in doing so, it creates, basically steam, which it sucks up and then cools off. It goes through a heat pump function. So there's no drying per se. It dries the air, not the clothes, but they get dried in the process. It's weird. I used to have one of these 19 years ago, because I had one when my son was born and I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment, and it was all we could fit in there, okay? Similar situation here. I promised my wife a dishwasher, and this allowed us to get rid of 2 appliances and put it in the space of 1, and thus slot in that dishwasher right next to it, okay? She's stoked about that. The kids are stoked. Everyone's excited. She loves the washer-dryer combo because for her, it really eliminates that middle step, which for her, being a busy mom and doing all the stuff that she does, plus the kids and everything else, I got to be here at such and such time so I can swap the laundry. And we've all been there. We all, I'm going to do it. I'm going to set a timer. I'm going to remember, and then you don't, right? Life happens. And this takes care of that, gets rid of it. A lot of people are concerned, hey, will it come out completely dry? And when it comes out, it feels a little kind of cool to the touch. It doesn't, you think it's wet, but you take it out once, you give it a little shake, and it's like miracle dry, instant, like poof, all the moisture is gone. And I'm wearing the evidence. I don't notice any difference on my end. Everything's nice and soft, which is not something I could say about my original one from 19 years ago, which was not made by GE, but I don't even remember the name of it. It was some weird third-party company. Anyway, the point is, these have become really popular, but they're not for everyone. They take longer to wash and dry because it's using a heat pump cycle and it's not just blasting it with hot air. So that's an issue. Could be an issue for you, all right? If you are not space constrained, this is probably for you. The person who's buying this is in a situation, they have limited space. They have, maybe they got limited time. Maybe it's somebody who's like, I don't want to do the swap. I'm just going to buy this, all right? If you've got the space and the time, then don't worry about it. This is clearly not for you. But for those of you who are, this is a pretty good solution. And I got to tell you, in the last year, we've switched all our appliances to GE. And the other ones were not sponsored, okay? With the dishwasher was not sponsored, but we bought a GE dishwasher. You could see it in the video. We bought a French door GE fridge. Again, not sponsored. We bought a GE stove after my daughter lit the stove on fire. Anyway, I did a lot of research. I've talked to a lot of techs, and always keeps coming back to the concept of bang for the buck. GE's the way to go. They're just killing it. At that price point. And are there better ones out there? Yeah, if you want to spend a ton of money, you can do that. But if you're on a budget and you're looking for something that's going to get you that 80-20 kind of return, in most cases, GE's where it's at. And I got to tell you, with this combination washer dryer, I think it's a solid investment. You do have to, there's some maintenance that goes along with it, okay? You got to stay on top of the maintenance cycle. It says like every 10, like every wash do this filter, every 10 washes do this filter, every X many washes go and like vacuum it out and stuff. You have to stay on top of that because it's kind of a delicate system that does the whole heat pump and everything else. But it's just like, it's just, you know, comes with the territory, and it works. It does work. A lot of people want to think that it doesn't, and that's usually people who don't want to follow the instructions. If you don't follow the instructions, that's on you. Anyway, I want to thank Lowe's again for sponsoring this video. My wife's super excited. I'm excited about clean clothes that I don't have to worry about. The install was super easy, especially since I made my kids do a lot of it. Anyway, if you like what we do here, go ahead and chomp the old like button, smash the subscribe, ring the bell on the way out. Links, as always, are down below. You all take care, God bless, and as always, shine on.